Hey guys, Dominic from Genuine Reels, and Cult of Chucky is hitting home media, video, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever the hell, in October, so I thought it would be a good time, and I got a couple of requests to do a worst to best of the Child's Play or Chucky franchise. A while ago, I did Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. You can check those out. I'll put a link in the description below. And also, if you're not, check out the podcast on the iTunes store for free, where I talk more about movies with my brother, with my girlfriend, in long form. Movies like Halloween 3. But anyway, let's get to it. This is the one of my favorite guilty pleasure franchises. I mean, I love Child's Play. As a kid, I used to be afraid of Chucky. I still kind of am afraid of Chucky. I mean, he's scary, and the voice, Andy, you know. But all right, let's jump into the worst to best. So, the worst Child's Play movie. Now, a lot of you, I think you have I think you have an idea what it is, but it's not that one. It's Child's Play 3. That's right, the poster. I got the shirt on here. Child's Play 3 does like a time jump from the second one. It's supposed to be like 8 years later. You know, meanwhile, in real life, it wasn't that year. I think it's supposed to be like 96 or 97. I don't remember exactly, but Andy's grown up. He's in military boot camp. I don't know what's going on in this movie. This movie, it's not very memorable. It has some good moments. You have Chucky running around with a new kid trying to play hide the soul, you know, and the reuniting of Andy and Chucky is nice. There are some good moments, and of course Chucky meets his end by getting all chopped up, which comes to play in movies like Bride of Chucky. But overall, I think this is the worst movie. Around this time, you know, the scariness of the doll kind of faded, and he became a joke, which is why, of course, you had the movies that went in the more humorous direction, like Bride. Next up on the list, you were expecting this to be the worst. And I gotta say, Seed of Chucky, which is next, I don't think it's the worst. Because I remember for a long time, as a Chucky fan, I didn't even bother seeing this, because I was just like, what's going on? He's got a son, he doesn't know if he's a guy or a girl. I seen bits and pieces. Finally, I watched this movie, and I'm not going to say I was pleasantly surprised, because that's a little bit of an overstatement, but I will say it was better than I thought it ever would be. Is it ridiculous? Of course it is. It's a doll, his wife, and their kid. Is it fun? I'm going to say it's fun. It's a fun, stupid movie. You got cameos from, like, Redman in there, and Jennifer Tilly's always fun. Brad Dourif doing his thing, as always. I enjoy Seed of Chucky. It could arguably be the worst in this list, but I'm going to give that one to Child's Play 3, and let's move along. Next up is Curse of Chucky, which, let's talk about pleasant surprises. Curse of Chucky was a pleasant surprise. It went back to the roots of being, you know, a horror franchise, and it really put that comedy to the back. Well, of course, there's always going to be that comedy, because, let's face it, it's a fucking doll coming after you and trying to kill you. Of course, it's going to be funny. But this went back to the roots, and I liked the way it connected to the rest of the franchise, which was kind of like a twist. You found out at the end that, hey, this takes place in the same continuity, which you might have thought it was a remake or a reboot or something. It wasn't. It was in the continuity. And the cool thing, too, is it filled in some of the history of Charles Lee Ray, which is also cool. And you had Brad Dourif and his daughter, Fiona Dourif, who gives a great performance, and we'll see her in the next one as well. The only real problem I have with Curse of Chucky is there's some parts in the movie when the doll just doesn't look right. Next up on the list is Bride of Chucky. Now, I remember when I first saw Bride of Chucky, I was young. I didn't really, you know, get it, to, appreciate it as much. Years later, watching it over the years, I enjoy this movie. This is directed by Ronnie Yu, who would, of course, go on to direct the fun-filled Freddy vs. Jason, and that is exactly what this movie is. It's a lot of fun. You got people like John Ritter in there, that chick from Knocked Up, an early role, whatever the hell her name is, and it's a fun movie. They bone in this movie. Two dolls bone in this movie. Got a whole Team America thing going on, but a movie that really reestablished Chucky, you know? And that's what I think what the problem with Seed was, that it went a little too much, you know? It tried to go a little too crazy. Whereas Bride of Chucky went there, but, you know, played around a little bit, played with itself. You know, there's a lot of references to other horror films, a lot of little Easter eggs in the film, and it's just a fun movie. It's stupid, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, and it's one of the best Chucky movies there is. Next up is Child's Play 2, my #2 favorite Chucky movie. This is, I think, the first Chucky movie I watched finally when I was young, and I was like, okay, I'm not afraid of this. I'm going to try to watch this. I'm not going to just let this doll scare me. And I had so much fun. This is one of those movies that, along with movies like Night of the Creeps and Halloween 2, like, made me realize how much fun horror could be and how much I would grow to love the genre. I love the climax in the toy factory. I love all the creative deaths, whether it's the eyeball, whether it's, you know, tripping the stepfather down the steps, and yet again, Chucky haunting Andy's life. This is a great continuation because you really have the doll front and center in this one, and they had a lot of fun. I think this is the peak of Child's Play. You know, I don't want to say it's better than the first film, but it's a fun film. You got him running around, "Doen tu impella, give me the power I beg of you." Who doesn't love when he's trying to get into a kid's body and then his nose starts bleeding? "I'm turning human again." I love it. I love it all. I love Chucky. This is Chucky's peak, I think. Love Child's Play 2. I love, you actually care about Andy. You know, obviously you liked him in the first one, but you care about him. You care about the characters in this movie. You know, his stepsister, or foster sister, whatever that's called. A real fun movie, and great deaths. Strangling the guy with the plastic bag. I love this friggin' movie. And of course, the #1 Chucky movie is Child's Play 1. The first one. The original. That what I was saying just now about 2, you know, putting the doll to the forefront. The first one, for a lot of people who haven't watched it in a while, this movie, if you didn't know any better and you didn't know the character of Chucky, when you were first seeing this movie, you didn't know if the doll was killing people until halfway through the movie. You thought maybe it was this kid, he was crazy. If you went into this movie completely blind, that's what you'd think. You wouldn't know until halfway through the movie when the fucking doll's head spins around. He's got no batteries and he starts going after the mother. This movie is so much fun. You know, it's kind of like a, you know, cop story because you got the cop helping her out. It's a horror movie. It's a mystery. And it's what Chucky's all based on. And of course, you have the great finale when Chucky's burnt. And then, "Andy, I thought we were friends till the end." "This is the end, friend." And he throws him, you know, he's a kid. He wasn't the best actor in the world. But love Child's Play 1, a classic, and I love to rewatch this movie. It's such a great horror film, and probably a small budget they had, but if you watch closely, you can see when it's, you know, a small actor running around in the mask, and that's always fun to spot those scenes. But that is my list of Child's Play from worst to best. Tell me what your guys' lists are below. Let me know if you're looking forward to Cult of Chucky. I definitely am, and I'll definitely be putting up a review whenever I do see that. Let me know if you guys want me to do any more of these worst to best, any other horror franchises, movie franchises, in the comment below. Definitely check out the other videos. Check out the comedy sketches I do. Like I said, the podcast is available on iTunes for free, and we talk long form about movies, so definitely check that out. And of course, thanks for watching, guys.